Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolors. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello everyone and welcome back to Painting Watercolours with me, Colin. This is a £140 Winsor & Newton watercolour paper, not rough, not smooth. And I've just stretched the paper, which is wetting it both sides. Quick run round of the colours. We have yellow ochre, Naples yellow, cadmium yellow deep or whatever yellow you have, French ultramarine, alizarin crimson, burnt umber and light red. And I'm going to take some Naples yellow. I'm just going to add it in around here. Maybe a country, maybe a morning scene this. I'm just putting this in relatively pale. Brighten an area up with it. So I'm just taking some of the cadmium yellow and I'm going to stroke this in. I do want it relatively light around this tree here because I want it to stand out. And we'll do this in yellows and violets and browns, I think, to make it interesting. Take some French ultramarine with some alizarin crimson. I'm going to make up a violet wash and I think that will do it. And I'm just going to put this on. Bringing it into the yellow, it can only turn grey. Bring some in, there'll be some water here, so I'm going to add some into this. Taking some of the yellow as well. Strengthen it up. Now a thicker mix, basically the same colour. I'm just going to drop in some darker areas just to break this flat wash up of the sky. Remember, this will dry around about 20% lighter, 15 to 20%. Don't play with it too much. Take some of the yellow ochre, bring some into the land, into the bushes. And then I'm going to take some of the burnt umber, just drop a little bit of this in. I want to put some misty trees in the background, but we're going to have to wait for this to dry. And when I say dry, I mean it looks like velvet, the paper. As the water disappears off the paper, you end up with a velvet look to it, just like you see on a snooker table. I've just put some more French ultramarine in there, just a little bit thicker. Add some crimson to it again. Making a deep violet colour. And I'm going to add some burnt umber to that, just to flatten it down a little bit. Take it like an earthy purple, an earthy violet. I'm going to take because it's going to spread, I'm going to use a small detail brush. Just begin to drop some trees in the background. Give your brush a little wiggle. You have a lot of time to do this. If you time it right, you have plenty of time to get this in. There's no need to rush. Take a little water on the brush once again, just fuzzing some edges up even more, just to break them up. Just allowing the tree to disappear into what looks like mist in the back. Don't add too much water on the brush, take it off. With a mop brush, tiny mop brush, some of the same colour on the tips, just check it. And just add some foliage to these trees. Just using the tips of the brush. There's very little paint on the brush. Think about the shape of the tree that you want. And then you're going to leave that to dry. I'm just going to drop a little bit of water into these bushes here, but not all the way up to the top. I'll drop a mixture of colours in, I think. Some of the yellow ochre. Just allow it to spread in the water, don't worry about it. Take some light red. If you haven't got light red, you could use burnt sienna, a little bit of burnt umber. Then I'm going to take some yellow ochre, pop it in there with some light red, just to give it a burnt orange look. Break open the mop brush, and on the tips, I just want to start just to drop some bushes in. I'll take some burnt umber to that, some light red as we go a little bit darker. Touching this in areas, and then I'm going to allow each piece to dry so we can start to separate the colours out. And just along the bottom, I'm going to drop some water in here and just allow it to mingle. Removing a little bit of excess water of it. Taking a little bit more of the yellow ochre. Some of this brown. Some of the yellow there, I think. Bits of blue. Soften some of these edges. And I'm going to let that dry. Just want to take a little more burnt umber and add it to that burnt umber and French ultramarine. which I used to put the fence posts in and that little tiny bush. Once again, back to these bushes, and just adding layer after layer on them. And not too much on the brush, and just touch the brush onto it. Got some nice dark on it now. Just adding some water and softening this in. And I want to add a little bit of yellow into this to make a green, burnt umber and French ultramarine. And I might just drop a little bit of light red along the left hand side. Darkening it once again with the French ultramarine. Just a few twigs coming out of the tree trunk. Pulling a few branches out here and there in this. That's light red, some burnt umber with a touch of French ultramarine. Just soften this into the painting. Softening this in once again. And we want to leave that to dry. I've just taken some burnt umber and French ultramarine and I've just put a few grasses in there. I've turned the board upside down. Just makes it easier to put some of these branches in, so you can start to pull your tree out. And I'm using a rigger brush for this, detail brush. So this is only a suggested colour palette. You have different colours, please be, or should I say, please feel free to use them. So I'm just giving it a little wiggle. Always try and make it easy for yourself. Might just put a couple of birds in here for now. Yellow and add it to that. Really water it down with the side of the brush. Just start to pull downwards or inwards towards the tree. Very simple way of putting masked leaves on, even though it's the end of the year, you can still find green. Then this is where you get to sign it, put a mount around it and frame it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, please leave a comment. Please feel free to subscribe. Subscribers are always welcome, and I will see you next time.